Post-Lake Lending is a tribal lender that gives out short-term installment loans for small amounts. You can apply for these loans online, and you might get the money quickly. But Post-Lake Lending admits that its loans are expensive, and the lender doesn't tell you about its rates until after you apply. What you need to know about a Lendumo personal loan. Post-Lake Lending, which used to be called Amplify Funding, is an online lender that gives small, short-term loans. Post-Lake Lending lets first-time borrowers borrow up to $1,500 and repeat borrowers can borrow up to $5,000. Unlike most payday loans, Post-Lake Lending payday personal loans don't have to be paid back by the time you get your next paycheck. They are instead set up as installment loans that are paid back over a number of weeks or months. Expensive loan terms. Like payday loan lenders, Post-Lake Lending lends in small amounts and targets its loans at people who may have limited financing options. The company encourages people with bad credit or no credit to apply. But you'll pay for that with expensive loan terms. In the fine print on its site, Lendumo describes its loans as an expensive form of borrowing. Another clue that its rates are high. Post-Lake Lending will not lend to active military members, a strong indicator that its loans exceed the 36% interest cap set by the Military Lending Act to protect people in the military from predatory lending. Just how high are Post-Lake Lending rates? While they say they're expensive, Post-Lake Lending unfortunately doesn't provide information on its range of rates until after you've submitted a loan application. This makes it critical for approved borrowers to carefully review the terms of their Post-Lake Lending loan agreements before deciding to sign. Take a look at this chart to get a sense of how much money you could pay for a short-term $500 loan depending on the annual percentage rate, or APR, fees for late payments, and insufficient funds. Post-Lake Lending charges a $30 fee for payments that are more than 3 days late. A $30 fee will also be charged if a payment is returned due to insufficient funds or isn't honored by your financial institution for any other reason. For small loan amounts, these fees are significant. On a $500 loan, for example, a $30 fee would equal 6% of your loan principal. And remember, these fees are in addition to whatever interest rate is being charged on the loan. If you can't make a payment for any reason, you can contact Post-Lake Lending to request a 3-day courtesy extension. If you're about to receive a paycheck or other income, this extension could help you avoid a late payment or insufficient funds fee. But note that the courtesy extension can only be used once during the life of your loan. Potentially fast funding. Post-Lake Lending says it has a fast application, approval, and funding process, with most approved applicants receiving their funds in their bank account by the next business day. An important factor when you need fast cash to cover an emergency expense. But to qualify for next business day funding, you'll need to receive loan approval before the cutoff time of 6 p.m. Central Time Monday through Friday. If you'd like to receive your funds on the same day, you can request a wire transfer up to the cutoff time of 3 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. And keep in mind that depending on your bank, there may be a wait before you can access your cash. No prepayment fees. You can pay your Post-Lake Lending loan back in full at any time without penalty. Paying your loan off early could save you a lot of money in interest charges and help you avoid getting into a cycle of debt. And with no prepayment penalties to worry about, it makes even more sense to pay back a Post-Lake Lending personal loan as quickly as you can. Should I get a Post-Lake Lending loan? Post-Lake Lending loans are unsecured, meaning they don't require you to put up collateral, like a car or other personal property, to secure your loan. An unsecured loan could be a better choice than secured loans like title loans or pawnshop loans, which put you at risk of losing your car or other property. But generally, Post-Lake Lending should be considered a last resort. You'll likely face a very high interest rate, so it's important to consider all of your other options. Negotiating a payment plan or even delaying payment on a bill may be a better choice than taking out a high-interest loan. You also may want to consider applying for a Payday Alternative Loan, or PAL. This type of loan, offered by some federal credit unions, caps interest rates at 28% and application fees at $20. Whether you have good credit or bad credit, you'll want to do some shopping to compare rates and terms for personal loans from banks, credit unions, or online lenders. If you take out a loan from Post-Lake Lending, try to pay it off as soon as possible since you won't face a prepayment penalty. How to apply with Post-Lake Lending. To apply for a Post-Lake Lending loan, you'll need to be a U.S. citizen who is at least 18 years old, have a checking account and regular income, and live in one of the 42 states where Post-Lake Lending operates. Active military members and their dependents aren't eligible to apply. You could apply for a post-lake lending loan online. You'll need to submit the full application to view your potential rate. If your application is approved, you can review and e-sign your loan agreement online. You'll also need to call post-lake lending to provide verbal verification of your information.